This is the story of the Phoenix Suns. From more than 10 years of mediocrity to just 4 wins away from winning the Larry O'Brien Trophy. This is Chip of Game High. Now before watching the video, hit that subscribe button down there for more content on anything sports and video games. The Phoenix Suns officially clinched a playoff berth on April 29th, 2021 after beating the Los Angeles Clippers at home, ending the 11-year absence from postseason play that haunted the team and its fans in that span. The 2010s will forever be cemented among the Suns' faithful as a decade of tragedy, a historical black hole which something no one wants to remember. Flashes of brilliance and moments of glory were overshadowed with the perennial losing records and annual early summer vacations. On the other hand, this was the time a few moves were made and are enjoyed by the present. These were the draft selections of Devin Booker in 2015 and Deandre Ayton in 2018.
The Phoenix Suns select Devin Booker from the University 18 NBA draft. The Phoenix Suns select Deandre Ayton from Nassau, Bahamas and the University of Arizona.
However, these particular decisions could not save General Manager Ryan McDonough as the team was in shambles with yearly coaching changes that disrupted continuity with the lack of marquee players. Team Governor Robert Sarver brought in former Sun James Jones as Vice President of Basketball Operations, who won championships in Miami and Cleveland as a player. A year later, he was named interim general manager after McDonough was fired. Sarver drew flack with the hiring because of Jones' neophyte experience in front office. Little did the fans know that Jones would silently build the franchise back to relevance. The strategy was simple. Instead of building through the draft, hire a veteran tactician who would help create a winning culture. Secondly, trading for key players to surround the young core of Booker, Ayton, and Mikal Bridges, who was acquired in a trade with the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2018 draft. The turnaround started by getting rid of rookie head coach Igor Kokoshkov and installing Monty Williams at the helm. On draft night, they let go of TJ Warren and a second-round draft pick for cash considerations. Aside from that, Jones traded down from 6th to get Dario Saric and the 11th pick that turned out to be Cameron Johnson out of the University of North Carolina in what was deemed initially as a head-scratcher. Jones capped things off with the acquisition of center Aaron Baines and the pick that acquired Ty Jerome for a future first-rounder. Phoenix continued its revamp by signing Spanish point guard Ricky Rubio to a 3-year deal, Frank Kaminsky to a 2-year deal, and sending off former first-rounder Josh Jackson and DeAnthony Melton for Javon Carter and Kyle Korver, who was eventually waived. Additionally, Jones ensured that one of the energy guys stay by extending Tsunami Papi, Kelly Oubre Jr. to a 2-year contract. These moves showed the ideal player the team was looking for. Can play two-way basketball, can work without fanfare, and has a mature character with little to no issues to resolve that can work well with the rest of the team. In spite of an unfortunate 25-game suspension on Deandre Ayton, along with key injuries every now and then, the Suns had their best start since the 2013-2014 season. When the league was suspended brought about by the COVID pandemic, Phoenix's 26 wins out of 65 games at the time became their best record in the last 5 seasons. When the league resumed by the end of July 2020, the Suns were included in the 22 teams that participated in the Orlando bubble to secure a spot in the playoffs. However, because of their standings, one loss can kiss their actual playoff hopes goodbye. In spite of that, the Suns definitely played like it's their last game of the season by completing an 8-0 sweep. However, fate had other plans as Portland's pulsating win in their last game against Brooklyn extended Phoenix's absence from postseason play. Coach Monty gave an emotional speech to his team after going undefeated in the Orlando bubble. And I quote, "You've gained the respect of the league. Now, we got to build on it. We got to get to the point where we control it. You want to be the kind of team that controls their own destiny. That is our next step. From then on, the Suns were on a mission. Playoffs or bust. On November 16, the Suns made headlines with the acquisition of perennial All-Star and future Hall of Famer in Chris Paul, who shot down critics by leading a bunch of nobodies in Oklahoma City to the 2020 NBA playoffs. The Suns packaged a handful of players, including Oubre and Rubio, along with a first-round pick for CP3 and swingman Abdel Nader. With CP3 on board, the Suns continued their offseason splash by signing grizzled veteran Jay Crowder, along with shooters Etuan Moore, Langston Galloway, big man Damian Jones, and rookie Tyshawn Alexander. They also extended Saric and Carter to 3-year contracts and got back the services of Kaminsky. CP3 has one mission: to bring the Suns back to the playoffs and for him to get to his first NBA Finals. Right out of the bat, he started individual workouts with ringleader Devin Booker in order to create chemistry between them. After all, CP3 has said many times that he wanted to be in Phoenix primarily because of Booker. One knock on Chris Paul, though, is that he is injury-prone, especially when the postseason rolls around. He only missed 2 games in the regular season, but was not 100% in some games, especially in the first round against the Los Angeles Lakers because of a shoulder contusion. CP3 showed he was just what the Suns have been needing after all these years: crafty, steady veteran leadership from their point guard. Devin Booker, for his part, has been with the Suns since being picked 13th in the 2015 NBA Draft. 6 years! He has seen it all, from being the worst to being one of the best. He has withstood backlash after backlash for being an empty stats guy for all the losing seasons the fans have witnessed. The maturation process took longer than most, but his continuous learning and guidance throughout his time were elevated under the leadership of CP3 and Coach Monty. Ayton has drawn critics from both Suns fans and non-Suns fans alike. Being the number 1 pick proved to be harsh reality for the former Wildcat. He even declared that he and Booker are the second coming of Shaq and Kobe. Much is given, much is expected. While Ayton has not been posting Shaq-like numbers, this year's playoffs became his coming out party by going steadily against the Lakers, Nuggets, and the Clippers. We all know how that valley-oop went in Game 2 that prevented a tied series. Poise, relentlessness, brotherhood. Coach Monty has preached these points since day one. This is the result of the culture James Jones envisioned. Things fell into place, and the cast was just right. Since the bubble, the Suns have put on a show and made a mark by becoming the only team in league history to get a final seat after coming off a playoff absence the year before. They have finally become the team that controls their own destiny. Historically, Phoenix is more known as an offensive-minded team, characterized by Charles Barkley's Suns in the 90s and Steve Nash's addition in mid-2000s. This year's Suns are in the top 10 on both ends of the floor according to various statistics. Among others, they are 7th in the league in scoring, 4th best in turnover percentage, 1st in points allowed per game, and 6th in net defensive rating. What led to where they are right now is a change in direction that started from the top. After securing a playoff seat on that fateful day of April 29th, Phoenix has proven they're not just happy to get a taste of the playoffs. They want to win it all, not just for themselves, but for those loyal fans who have suffered with them through all the heartaches and heartbreaks. Story's not over, but they are 4 wins away from turning championship dreams to reality. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our Game High YouTube channel and share your thoughts below in the comment section. We also have our Facebook and Instagram pages. Do check us out on Spotify for our podcast on sports, video games, and everything in between. Until then, cheers!